Go ahead.
6
All
o'clock.
right, the time is 6 p.m. Will everyone rise and join with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show we are all in attendance. The board is all in attendance. Any public participation? Seeing that no one is here from the public, we will move on. You have the minutes from the January 21st meeting. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting as printed and circulated.
Motion by Mark, second by
I second.
Lindsay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay, items for discussion, site plan review, Mount Calvary Lutheran Church, and you guys are here. You want to give your name and your addresses for the record?
Yes, I'm Reed Jans with Excel Engineering. I'm the civil engineer on the project. Address 100 Camelot Drive, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Okay, and you, sir?
I am Brad Harchis. I'm representing Mount Calvary. My address is 33 Diane Lane in Appleton.
Okay, very good. All right, Josh, do you want to lead us off on this?
Sure. So the church is looking to make an addition. It's roughly 5,000 square feet. It's a new worship center, restrooms, office. Currently, they're holding worship services in their gym. The building materials will match the existing building materials of the building, and it's placed on the west side of the building between kind of the two entrance roads, the frontage roads.
Any questions?
I'd like to ask a couple things. Do you know if or has any of the neighbors been notified, or will they?
The neighbors won't be notified of the site plan. Engineers currently looking at to make sure that there's no, for example, spillover light or anything of that nature, but no, neighbors haven't been notified. We're not required to notify neighbors for this.
My only main concern is the bell tower.
Yep.
It's one thing to, build a house after a bell tower, but putting a bell tower in, I don't know, that's why I asked about the neighbors, if they had any kind of input type of thing, but I wasn't sure because like at the town hall meeting, the Waverly, people were complaining about the noise there, so I wasn't sure about any kind of noise ordinances or.
I think it's a steeple. I don't think you guys have a bill up there, right?
No,
On the plan, it does say bell tower,
it says that.
if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's our intention.
No bell.
So you're not going to play
Just the
chimes
tower.
or anything? You're not going to,
That's been discussed so far.
It does say bell tower, yeah.
It's-
So, if there's no bell tower, no problem.
No, I don't, that's not our intention, but I know that might, it's still a work in progress, obviously.
Sure.
okay,
Okay.
put
I
that
don't
on the
like the
list.
bell, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
I mean-
I do like the
I
bell.
mean, it's nice, but I wasn't sure if there's times of the day that, and limitations with
Mainly just the
decibel.
church.
Well, no,
Yeah.
could they like Sherwood, would they ring the bells every hour?
Yeah.
In Sherwood, yeah, they ring the bells every hour in Sherwood.
Because those houses
Even
are
at
kind of
night?
close, so.
Well, I know they, huh?
Those houses are kind
Yeah.
of close if there was a bell.
Been there for a long time. I don't know if they rang that night, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So put that on your list.
They were
of
never
questions.
ringing when I went by.
There was a reason.
Here she comes, shut the bells off.
All right, so, you have the staff recommends approval with the conditions as listed. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to accept the site plan for Mount Calvary Lutheran.
A second.
With the conditions as listed?
Yes, with the staff recommendations and conditions.
Any other questions or comments?
And secondary discussion, I guess I can bring up, I was just kind of curious with the first condition, how was that determined? Because light spillover is hard to measure.
Right. So in the initial plan set, they set a photometric study, which is reviewed by McMahon. McMahon's looking at that currently. One concern was that the photometric study did not include the steeple. So staff has gone back to engineering and asked for them to include that in their resubmittal for the engineering.
Okay, because the steeple will be taller
Yep.
than the addition.
Yeah, and the company that we use for engineering, they have civil engineers that specialize in this. So once that's received in the resubmittal, they'll look at it. If there's any issues, we'll go back to them.
Cool. No further comment. Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Ready to call the vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. So you rattled a lot of cages.
Thanks,
with that-
guys.
With that bell tower.
I didn't even know it was on there.
Okay, well, we look forward to,
Yeah, we'll have a good answer for you, or for the board next week on that.
sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, is this on Tuesday's meeting, Josh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you, guys. Next on the agenda is the final plat for the Harrison Commerce Park.
Again, this is the area, the 3 parcels off of County N that are south of Schmidt and north of Manitowoc. The parcels were purchased by the village to create a commerce park, and then the lower end of the plat will then be home to the new fire station off of Manitowoc. And this was received, that's why the packet came out a little late. McMahon just got us the final plat maybe 8-9 days ago.
Yeah.
Yep. So the plan set and everything else is still being developed.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
I'm just curious, so I want to make sure I'm looking at this right.
Yep.
This is lot 13 where I have it highlighted.
Correct. Yep.
I'm just curious with the retention pond in there, it seems to not make sense, like that it would be one big lot instead of like 2 separate lots.
As of right now, the retention pond, and this could possibly change. The easement is there for the retention pond.
Okay.
So the design of the retention pond is not complete.
Okay.
McMahon's working on that. It's going to be fairly large, though, but it's pretty much one parcel.
Okay.
That way, if a larger, it gives the village some flexibility that if a larger, development came in there, we could work with them.
Okay.
For example, if the village wanted to go in a direction of bringing in smaller development, we could always partition that off in CSMs.
Okay. Sounds good. And then I know in the newsletter, that was presented to the public, it did show multiple parks.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, it does say, that lot 14
Yep.
is for large scale commercial.
And or a splash pad. Essentially,
Okay.
we're nothing's finalized. It's just the plat. So by giving, it's set aside for a possible splash pad and park, and or development.
Okay.
But it's giving again the village kind of that flexibility that we can work with people that may come. So
Okay.
the plat's a layout, but again, like what may go into this plat, it's not finalized. It's
Okay.
kind of just more like a template, if you
Okay.
think of it like that.
Got it, okay. Sounds good. And then, I just wanna make sure I'm getting, for the retention pond, so
Mhm.
would that still be the responsibility of the village to manage?
Yep,
Okay,
that's correct.
Is that gonna be a wet or a dry?
It's gonna be wet.
It's gonna be a wet one.
Yep.
No, I just had one question for Commerce Drive. Is it just gonna be stop signs going out to M? What is the plan?
Yeah, I believe so. At this time, it's just going to be stop signs. We'll have to work with the county in that, but there's no foreseeable lights there.
Okay. And then same with Manitowoc, there's no plans for,
I think the plans for Manitowoc there'll be some type of lighting there. For example, that if first responders or the fire station leaves the station, that some type of light or some type of flashing sign indicates to the public that an emergency first responder vehicle is coming through.
okay, and then my last question, I believe this is still is this 35 or 45? I know once you get past the roundabout, I think
It's 45 there right now.
Is that going to be looked at, or is that gonna stay 45, do you know?
That's a county issue because N is actually a county road.
Okay.
But there's state statutes for speed limits, as the board knows. But that's something that could possibly be looked at as the road continues to urbanize in the future.
All right, thank you.
Good questions though, guys.
I did have a question based off of what Lindsay kind of mentioned. Did we want to provision this area in case there was a splash pad, like when it comes to sidewalks along Commerce Drive?
That's way
Because
too early in this.
It's way too early?
It's way too early.
And that's fine, okay, I was just kind of curious about that.
But I think we primarily.
I think
do
sidewalks are
include
going. Sidewalks will be put in.
Yeah, I think-
along both Homestead and Commerce.
But that doesn't change the plat, like, or the.
No,
square
no,
footage.
yeah.
I think
The
we
road,
got that
it's
one.
set aside, and that right of way actually includes sidewalks.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yep.
yeah, I thought we had already talked about that.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
sweet.
all right.
Make a motion to approve final plot Harrison Commerce Park, County N, parcels 39138, 39144, 39142, with staff recommendations as printed and circulated.
I'll second.
Second by Michael. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. All right, last on
Thanks,
our
guys.
agenda.
Oh, we still got still too.
Is the reports for the zoning permits for this year. So, looks like we're making pretty good progress already, wow. Any questions or comments? All right, our next meeting will be March 18th at 6 PM. Does that sound good? Anything else to come before us tonight? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Darlene,
Second?
second by Scott to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.